The Supreme Court, sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal or PET, unanimously denies the motion for inhibition filed against Associate Justice Marvic Leonen in the Vice Presidential Electoral Protest case. The decision comes Tuesday, November 17, more than a week after former Senator Bongbong Marcos and Solicitor General Jose Calida filed the motions. Marcos and Calida cite Leonen's supposed personal biases against the Marcos family in their motions, which were filed on the same day on November 9. The PET also asked Calida and Manila Times reporter Jomar Canlas to show cause why they should not be cited in contempt. Canlas's articles were heavily cited by the motions of Marcos and Calida. Marcos is contesting the 2016 elections win of Vice President Leni Robredo, alleging fraud in 3 Mindanao provinces. If the case is overtaken by the 2022 elections, the protest will be declared moot. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque claims the recent typhoons have little effect on distance learning since there are no face-to-face classes anyway. But while there are no face-to-face classes, typhoons Rolly and Ulysses destroyed thousands of homes and cut off power and internet connection in several areas in Luzon, making online classes close to impossible.
Sa ating mga public schools, yung mga eskwelahan na nasa ilalim sa DepEd, tayo po ay nasa blended learning. At ang primary mode of instruction natin po ay modular, no? So, hindi po masyado na-apekto dahil wala pong ang face-to-face classes sa lahat ng ating mga eskwelahan.
The typhoon's impact on education prompts the University of the Philippines' professors to call for an early end to the semester. At least 228 faculty members on Tuesday, November 17, signed the petition due to remote learning woes worsened by the recent typhoons. The faculty members say the struggles of the academic community will not be over unless President Rodrigo Duterte steps down. After a series of typhoons pummeled Luzon, some universities in Metro Manila begin calling for an academic break as several students have been affected by the floods. But the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, rejects calls for a unilateral suspension of classes in the country or in Luzon. In a CNN Philippines interview Tuesday, November 17, CHED Chairperson Prospero de Vera III says, "Colleges and universities are in the best position to decide on the matter since, quote, different schools and different students and families are affected differently." Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea will lead the new Typhoon Task Force President Rodrigo Duterte announced earlier he will soon form. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says an executive order in the works will create the Build Back Better Task Force that will focus on post-disaster rehabilitation and recovery of typhoon-hit areas. The proposed body is also supposed to have a clear chain of command and direct mandate to respond to all issues and concerns in rehabilitation and recovery after a typhoon. There is already a National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, that essentially has the same function. Roque says the NDRRMC is not enough and stresses that someone needs to be in charge with the full assistance of the cabinet. For instance, even if there is no meeting of the council, Roque says the executive secretary can make decisions, especially if it means saving lives. Medialdea already has the power as executive secretary to coordinate the efforts of agencies. United States biotech firm Moderna announces almost 95% effectiveness of its experimental vaccine against COVID-19. This marks the second major breakthrough in the quest to end the pandemic, after American pharmaceutical company Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech said their vaccine was 90% effective. Both frontrunners are based on new technology which uses synthetic versions of molecules called messenger RNA to hack into human cells and effectively turn them into vaccine-making factories. Moderna says it expects to have approximately 20 million doses ready to ship in the US by the end of 2020 and is on track to manufacture between 500 million to a billion doses globally in 2021. US top infectious disease official Anthony Fauci calls the early results stunningly impressive. Meantime, in the Philippines, the Cebu city government will not lower dine-in capacities in restaurants, but will form a monitoring group to ensure minimum health standards are observed. Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella, in a press conference on Monday, November 16, said that would go against protocols established by the Government Task Force on COVID-19 response. This comes after drinking and eating sprees are identified as the top causes of the spike in COVID-19 cases. From a daily average of 7 new cases of COVID-19 per day in the later weeks of October, the city tally hikes to 13 daily infections in November. Photos circulating online show a fault line cracked open in Barangay Calangay, San Nicolas, Batangas. This claim is false. State volcanologists say the photos show a fissure, not an active fault. Facebook user Liz Tan posted on November 12 a set of photos showing big cracks on the ground. At the moment, Calangay, San Nicolas, Batangas, the fault lines have cracked open. The post had at least 600 reactions and 2,600 shares. But Dr. Arturo Daag of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology says there is no known active fault mapped in the area mentioned in the caption. The United States Geological Survey also says many faults are entirely beneath the surface and do not reach ground level.